Holy crap, this video is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Today we're putting our offensive coordinator hat on and we're teaching you how to create your own pro style Madden 21 passing offense. We've already talked about the run. Now we're going to get into the pass. This is something that you guys voted on and you requested. Let's get into the video. The first thing that you need in your pro style passing offense, of course, are key plays and consistency. What I mean by this is you need a play that you enjoy running and that you know how to make quick reads on, you're effective at, and is consistently done well. What I mean by key plays and consistency is that this one play beats several different plays and formations that can be ran by the defense, and it also looks as consistent with your other plays as possible, meaning that if you motion a tight end or a receiver or you make a certain amount of adjustments, this also can double as another play and it looks exactly the same. So my curl flat is the base of my offensive passing attack. I chose this play as the key play of my passing attack because it beats a lot of different coverages. So what I like to do is two adjustments here. I put Brown on a corner and I put Evans on a slant. And then I make this motion. Now this motion I do a lot, so it looks exactly the same no matter what I'm running. And this is gonna beat man, it's gonna beat cover 3, it's gonna beat cover 2, it's gonna beat cover 4, and it's just gonna depend on who's open at the particular time. I motion Evans a lot in this offense, so you'll never know which particular play I am running because Evan goes on motion a lot in this offense. So your key play needs to be one that's strong enough to beat almost the majority of formations or coverages that people can throw at you. And those coverages again are cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, and man. You should have a man beating route, a cover 2 beating route, so forth and so forth. And you should know once the play is snapped who you're going to throw it to based off of the coverage that is given. That is going to be your key play. It needs to be your strongest pass play that you have or the best pass play that you run in your playbook. Now this can come from any formation. It can come from underneath the center. It can come from gun, whatever it may be. But that is going to be your key play and how you start building your offense. So first things first, get that key play and get that consistency with your motions and your adjustments. Number 2 is probably the most underrated one, and one I don't feel like we talk about enough in this community, your audibles. Your audibles are so important, and if you're not setting up audibles in more than one formation, you are missing out on the potential of making your offense better. So you need not only to set up your audibles in your key formation, but you also need to set them up in a secondary formation as well. One that's almost exactly the opposite of the formation that you're running now, or it gives you even more power in something that you're lacking. So I love to set up my audibles in my pass formations to have all pass plays, and I normally come out in my run play. What this allows me to do is still have a run play on deck, but also be able to switch into a pass play that I want to run to beat the particular coverage. This is extremely important because it gives you 5 plays to pick from as soon as you come out of the huddle that will put you in a better chance to be successful on every down. Having 5 extra plays is going to make you a better passer in general, but that is not where it stops. A lot of pros take this to the second level. What this actually allows me to do is audible into other 3 receiver 1 tight end formations, such as gun tight slots, gun bunch, and a few other different formations that are in this playbook that I cannot name right now, but you'll see that no matter what, I am in a 3 receiver 3 tight end formation. You can take this to a step further. Depending on who your personnel is will depend on what you can actually motion into. So if I was to put OJ Howard here, you'll see that I now have 2 tight ends and 2 receivers, but I am running the same exact U-trips formation. What this is going to allow me to do is motion over or audible across into this gun ace offset, which is a very powerful run formation and also a really balanced pass formation. So if I never substituted my receiver for OJ Howard, I would have never been able to audible into this particular formation. So this allows me to also change what formations I can audible down into. OJ Howard is a really good tight end. He's a receiving tight end. So I don't lose much by taking Antonio Brown out, maybe a little bit of speed for OJ Howard. Now, if I really wanted to get fancy, I can start making these guys running backs instead of receivers, and this will actually allow me to audible down into 2 tight end, 2 running back formations, which, as you know, is a power run formation. So here I am out in a passing formation. Now I can audible down into I form tight, and I can get a really good run formation out of this with 2 tight ends and 2 backs. Audibles are going to make your passing attack better. Changing in and out of your personnel is extremely important, and a lot of pros are doing it to get in and out of pass happy or run heavy formations. Set up your audibles, know when to use them, know when to bring them out. That is your second tip. We're going to talk about something that a lot of the pros have in their offenses that make them extremely aggressive and great passers. This is going to be your high-low concepts. A lot of the pros use this high-low concept, and I'm going to explain to you the reason why it translates not only into Madden, but also into real football. This is because what you're trying to do is create a mismatch either in the zone or either in your coverage based off of the level of routes that you're running. The high-low concept is one that we use in college, in high school, and in pros. And it's, like I said, to create those mismatches. Basically, you're going to have somebody on several different levels of the football field. You have 3 different level routes: level 1, level 2, level 3. So let's look at Godwin here for our level routes. I'm going to walk you through all of them and how they work with your high-low concepts. So Godwin can run this little smoke screen out here. He can run a 5-yard curl, which is a level 1 route. He can run a slant. He can run a drag. He can run a 5-yard out, 5-yard in. Those are the majority of your level 1 routes, okay? Level 2 routes are almost exactly the same, but just a little bit deeper. So for Godwin, it's going to be a 10-yard out, a 10-yard in, a comeback, a 12 to 10 comeback, and that's about it for your level 2 routes. Now your level 3 routes are going to be your corner, your post, and your fade. Those are all of the level 3 routes. Now you can get a lot more unique, and you can start doing crossers and stuff like that, which is also going to be a level 3 route. And you can do some out and ups, which are also going to be a level 3 route. But those are the majority of the routes that are on your route tree. So level sales is a great high-low concept because I have 3 different levels of high-low reads that I can hit, and they're all attacking the same part of the field. So like I said, I have a 5-yard route by Brown, which is going to be our level 1 route. And it's actually about 8 yardish. Yeah, it's about 8 yardish. It still can be considered level 1 because it's not at 10. We actually have 2, which he's following right behind him, but that's not really what we want, honestly. This is not what we want. But you'll see that this guy keeps going. And what he's doing is he's forcing this guy to continue to go deep. And we have a level 3 route over here, and then a level 1 route here, and another level 1 route coming behind him. So creating this high-low concept is absolutely what you want to create when you're starting off your passing attack. Now we're going to take this to the next level, but I want to show you some basic high-low reads that you can add into your playbook right now that are going to help you beat basic coverages like cover 3. So cover 3, the way that most people attack cover 3 is by picking on the corner and the actual curl flat. So the way that most people attack cover 3 is by picking on the corner and the curl flat defender. How we do this is by making them pick who they want to cover. So what I'm going to do is put Mike Evans on a post corner, put Gronkowski on a level 1 route, which is just a little smoke route, and then put Brown on a streak. I know that as if it's cover 3, my corner has to take the deepest route, and then my curl flat defender has to decide whether he's going to be short curl flat or deep curl flat. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's look at this here because we even had Gronkowski open even though we did throw it to Brown. What we're doing here is there's 2 people that this guy has to cover, and we're playing them on different levels. Level 1, and this is level 3. There's no way that this guy can properly play a 15-yard difference effectively. Gronkowski is open, and he has about 8 yards of space between him and his next guy. We just decided to throw it to Antonio Brown because we had all this over here, but this is the concept of high-low. Look at this right here. This is a perfect high-low snapshot. So if we look at this at a bird's eye view here, right? We have 1, 2, 3 people literally in a line right here, a perfect line, and they're all on different levels, and they have so much spacing in between them that it's ridiculous. These guys don't know who to cover because these guys are so far apart. High-low concepts are extremely important, and you should add them to your playbook. So So we're going to take that high-low concept to the next level now with number 4, crossing routes. Crossing routes are extremely important, and they have been some of the most effective routes in Madden since I've been playing since probably 2003. Crossing routes have always been hard to cover, and they're still hard to cover. They beat man, and they can really mess up a zone if you know what you're doing. The meta right now is one step, and crossing routes are the way to beat one step, mainly because any route in motion is unjammable. So if you mix that with a crossing route, which already beats man, naturally it becomes even more effective. So what we're gonna do is take that level cells concept that we talked about last time, which has those different levels, attacking those different levels, and we're gonna mix in something to make it even more effective, which is going to be a crossing route by Mike Evans. Remember I said Mike Evans was running on the same level as Antonio Brown, and we didn't really want that. We're gonna now put him on a slant and run him from the other side of the field to create a nice cross in the middle, which should mess up the man coverage. So we're gonna do is we're gonna snap him, and again, motion routes are unjammable, and you see that Mike Evans just comes right across wide open. Mike Evans is the only person that's open though. There are a lot of people that are open on this particular play. Mike Evans is just wide open. So we'll see here. We're still running that high-low concept, right? But now we're gonna mix in a crosser. We actually have this guy open and this guy open if we wait just a little bit longer, because crossing routes just beat man coverage. So crossing routes don't have to be ins or outs. It could be digs. It can be this corner route running by Gronkowski where he just kind of crosses the field. It could be anything that takes your receiver from one side of the field to the other side of the field. That is going to be considered a crossing route. But what you want to do is cross them with another route. So like here, and you want to make sure they're crossing on different levels, right? So I don't want all my guys to be crossing at 15 yards because that's too deep. I want them all to be on different levels and cross at about the same time. That way the defenders get confused and I can get somebody who's wide open. So you'll see here that we actually run this cross here, right here, and we pull. This is even considered a cross here because all these guys are crossing paths. It's almost like creating a nice little pick route. This defender here has to decide, do I come down, take the running back, or do I take the guy that's coming behind me? Because I ran 2 people in front of him. He doesn't know where to go. And now what we see back here, this guy mans up, but the cross eventually gets him wide open. Crossing routes are a good way to beat zone and to beat man coverage, and you definitely should add in some motions to make sure that they become more effective. The last important thing I'm going to tell you to add to your offense is one play touchdowns. Every play is not supposed to be 50 yards. Every play is not supposed to be a dot down the sideline. But you need to make sure that when the time comes, you have them, brother. You need to make sure you got you some one play touchdowns because it keeps the defenders honest. By honest, I mean that they can't come down, blitz you every down. They cannot play the box. They have to play at least one person deep because they never know when you're going to bomb them over the top. Every playbook should have one play touchdowns, one unique route, something that the defender is not going to be ready for that can ultimately get you down the field and pick up big yards. You need to have that in your playbook. Now, you need to have a one play touchdown for a few different plays. Man, cover 2, cover 3, and cover 4. Those are going to be the ones that I suggest you find one play touchdowns for, because those are the ones that people normally use when they are trying not to give up big plays. You need to get you a one play touchdown, 25 yards, 35 yards play that you can just pull out that looks almost exactly the same as your key play. Now remember our key play, we put somebody in motion. This time we're going to put somebody in motion, but it's not going to be Mike. It's just going to be Antonio Brown. He may or may not notice that's a different person, but that's not my problem. We need to have that big play that can get us those big time yards. And normally they come with routes that are very unique. Every playbook normally has very unique routes. You just have to figure out how to use them and how to find them. And that's basically how you create your one play touchdowns. You'll see here that Antonio Brown has that little fade, but it's going to the outside. I can use this fade route to confuse the defender and make that one play touchdown down the seams, because he's going to take my guy, and you'll see that he just kind of pulls that corner there, and Antonio Brown does kind of come open every now and then. So one play touchdowns, add them to your playbook. You need them. That is my final tip. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I've had fun putting it together. I think it's a lot of information here that you guys can use. I hope you guys have appreciated it. It's been your boy DJ Chef. It's been love. It's always love. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We out. Peace.